Hey y'all, what's going on? It's your girl, Mrs. D Green. I told y'all I was gonna come back on here and do episode 2 of season 1's White Lotus. I mean, I may as well, right? I got the notes. So yes, that's why we are back. We are here to now recap episode 2 of the White Lotus, season 1. Before we get into it, again, housekeeping. Please like, comment, subscribe, and share. All right. I took like a little mini break to get me some water. I don't know. I must be dehydrated. Because I'm drinking a lot of water right now. All right. So we don't have a minute to spare. I'm not going to get into any chit chat. All right. So the second episode is titled New Day. So it starts out with Paula and Olivia. They are in the main part of the room because remember they took over the whole living room as their bedroom. And they're just doing some weird stuff. At first they're reading and then they say that they're bored and they say, "Oh, I wish we could, get high or whatever." Now, I just want to try to describe this scene so this way you can kind of see how these two do the dance with each other in their friendship. So they mention they're bored, right? And Olivia says, "I wish I could do some stuff." And so Paula's like, "Yeah, it would be nice. I wish we had weed. I wish I had weed or whatever." And then she's like, "Or maybe I do." So she goes into her stash, pulls her stuff out. Then Olivia, she's like, "Well, oh, I forgot. I brought my sleeping pills or whatever." Oh no, Paula mentions how she doesn't want to be too sleepy with the weed. And then Olivia says, "Well, I have my Adderalls to stimulate us, if we don't want to become too sleepy. But then I don't have anything to balance it out." So then Paula says, "Well, I have Ambien, and then I have this. And then Olivia's like, "Oh, I forgot I brought some Special K or whatever." And I'm just like, oh my gosh. Y'all went from not having drugs and saying you wanted to get high to bringing out, a whole pharmacy. It was crazy. So then they propose that they have a little session or whatever. They smoke. And then, strangely, that's what I said, this was a strange scene, but they're two teenage girls. So Olivia's like, "Are you ready for you want to do some ASMR?" And Paula's like, "Sure." So they're showing, Olivia lighting the lighter in Paula's ear, tapping her head, like doing shotgun with her, like just doing all types of stuff that's ASMR related. And I kept thinking, I was like, my daughter's always talking about ASMR. She's 9 though, so. So then Mark, now he's excited. He's shouting in the room. And then Nicole, like this was so crazy, the way the dynamic was. Nicole comes out of the room and she's just very, kind of cavalier about it. She's like, "Your dad doesn't have cancer. He's excited." Quinn comes out of the room, because it's hot. And they ask, Nicole asks, "What's that smell?" And then Olivia's like, "Oh, nothing. We were practicing witchcraft." Nicole didn't even press the issue. She just took the answer at face value. So then when Nicole goes back into the room with Mark, Quinn's like, can I get a rip or whatever? And Olivia's like, "No." She's so mean to her brother. Like you'll see this recur like throughout the season. Like Olivia is a straight bitch. Anyhow, so then there's a wake up montage. Now they're in the next morning after the night before or whatever. And we have Belinda asking about Lonnie. And oh, I mentioned that in the first episode. Oh well. So then Armand is feeling bad about how he treated Lonnie. That's still on his mind, and Belinda tells him, everything is okay. But yes, they bring up Armand's sobriety, and he struggles with it. He struggles with it. And you'll see this unfold throughout the season. I'm not going to spoil it because, of course, I'm going to recap it, but you'll see it unfold. So then now we got... Oh, okay. Now we go back to the Mossbachers. There's in the wake up montage, I forgot to remember, this was a small part though, but you know how I get caught up on details, so let me just go ahead and mention it. Shane and Rachel, you know, they wake up as well. Rachel's knocked out. Shane's checking out Rachel's breasts, and he's just so in love with her, and he kissed all over her. That couple, God bless them. So now we go to the Mossbachers. So Olivia and Paula are sleeping, and then Nicole comes out of the room and she's trying to get everybody up so they can go to brunch. Olivia tells her, you should knock. Don't just come into the living room, because Paula is sensitive. She has HSP, which is, I guess, highly sensitive person. So then Nicole's like, well, what is that? Is that even a real disease? And then Olivia's like, don't downplay her disease, Mom. She was clinically diagnosed. And then Nicole's like, well, who was your doctor? Lena Dunham? Now, I find that funny because I know Lena's been very vocal about certain conditions, and some people take what she's spoken about seriously. Some people think she's just doing it for attention. So I knew where that reference came from. I don't think that's funny, but in the context of how Nicole was throwing it back in their face, it was funny to me, because she's like basically saying, you young girls are always sick with something. Like, it's always something, right? So so then that whole scene is chaotic, because at the same time you have Mark, who is so elated about his diagnosis. He's sitting on the bed kissing on Olivia's feet, you know, just as a father, but like he's so weird about it. And Paula's looking like, what the hell? And Olivia's like, what are you doing? And he's like, I just love you. You're so pretty. I just love everybody. You know, he's got this whole second wind. But then he notices that there is the water bomb, because remember, they were doing drugs. And then he notices that there's pills and everything everywhere. Does not flip out. He's like, oh, you just brought a whole Mexican pharmacy with you. But doesn't reprimand them. There's no conversation. He doesn't take the drugs. And Olivia, being a brat and I guess used to the system, you know, she's not freaking out either. She's like, oh, it's nothing, Dad. It's nothing. But there was nothing behind that. And I was just like, wow. All right. So they all go to the breakfast buffet. They show Shane going through the buffet, and he's like so obnoxious. He like fills his plate up with a lot of food. And the staff look at him like, because they have to refill this and cook this, obviously. So they're looking at it like, this motherfucker. All right, so Shane goes to sit, and Rachel's at the table. And she tells Shane that she got an offer to do a piece on a YouTuber, an influencer that got 80,000 high school students to register to vote. And so as a reward, he's taking them on an RV trip or whatever, or something she said. And Shane is like, you know, to him that's menial work, like given the family he comes from and given the way that he's so detached or whatever. So he's not going to find value in what she does. So he downplays, naturally, you know, her excitement over the job. Now, mind you, she's still trying to hang on to a piece of herself. So she's excited. Oh my God, what was that? Oh, that's this thread. I'm sorry, y'all. You know, it's the ADD Express over here. Choo choo. So anywho, so he's just downplaying, you know, her excitement about it, and tells her that, you know, you don't really have to work anymore, so why would you want to do that? Because he gets into, well, how much are you getting paid for this? And she's like, well, a few $100s. And she's explaining to him, it's not so much the money, but it's the relationships that she's built, because she's worked so hard to establish her career and her presence. And she just doesn't want to like squander that away because now she's a wife. So there's a power dynamic between the two of them, because I get both sides. You know, you married a man with means, and naturally men like that, they do come with a little bit of ego and this I need to protect you. I'm taking care of you. That's the mindset they have. You know, it's a part of that whole patriarchy. So you knew what you married. So it's not that you are forced to fall into it, but you're going to be met with a little bit more resistance, especially with a guy like Shane, if you still try to maintain your independence. So that is going to be a struggle for them throughout this whole thing. So we'll see what happens with them, right? So, let me see. Oh, okay. So to add insult to injury, downplaying what she does, he then brings up the room again. And Rachel, she's not trying to hear that. You know, they come from two different worlds. That's not a problem. That's a first world problem. I'm not going to worry about that. But again, I am Shane. I paid for a service. I want my fucking service, or give me a refund. So he says how he's going to call his mom and like see if she can get the travel agent or get whoever on board to kind of get this worked out. Because I mean, as annoying as Shane comes off, like, customer service 101, you know, I thought I was buying a product. You didn't give me the product. What are you going to do about that? That's all it is. All it is. So, you know, as much as I want to criticize Shane, I could also criticize Rachel for not backing her husband. You know, just because those types of things aren't important to you because it's a world you don't understand. Well, this is a world you're now married into. So try to take a little interest, or at least meet him halfway to understand where he's coming from. And I mean, I guess she tries, but she doesn't try as much because she's still trying to hang on to that autonomy. So, he just wants Armand to man up, own up to his mistake. So now we go to Belinda and Tanya. So the consultation, that was in the first episode. The second episode, now they're getting a massage. And so Belinda's giving her a really good massage. Tanya's like loving it. And after the fact, she asked Belinda if she would join her for dinner because she just wants to connect. Like, remember, Tanya's lonely. So Belinda's saying she doesn't think that that's okay, you know, for staff to commingle with the guests. But Tanya insists because she just thinks Belinda is phenomenal. She's drawn to her. So Mark is trying to bond with Quinn. So now we have Mark and Quinn at the pool. And like I said, I think Quinn has some sort of like sensory thing going on because he's in the pool and he's playing on his little device. And so Mark's like, no screen time. Like, let's spend time together or whatever. So Quinn obliges. You know, he puts his little device down, and while he's disinterested, he's still listening. So then Mark downloads Quinn on his father, which is Quinn's grandfather, who passed away young of testicular cancer. I think he was 46. So he's just explaining to him how his dad was very alpha and he was a protector, and you know, he just wants to be able to say that, you know, he was similar to his dad and protected his dad and was just just an inkling of his dad. So he's kind of like, I guess, trying to make up for the fact that now Quinn is older and he hasn't really invested that much time in him. You know, the brink of death will do that to you, right? And Quinn's just, you know, trying to do his own thing. He doesn't care. So he's trying really hard, but I guess he gives up and lets Quinn have his space or whatever, and then Quinn just goes back to his device while he's standing in the pool. He's on the edge of the pool playing with that device. All right, so this scene, this was a Connie Britton. I'm not sure if she was nominated for a Emmy. I think it's an Emmy. Yeah, Emmy. Emmy is television. Tony is Broadway. Grammy is music. Yes. It's Oscars or movies. Got it. Yeah, I remembered. But in this scene, Connie Britton was genius. I'm just gonna say that. So I don't even think I need my notes for this one because I was just like, wow, this is women. So Nicole, she's, typing on her computer, working. And Rachel notices her. And Rachel is very enamored with Nicole because Nicole is the epitome of what a career woman looks like. She looks like she has it all. Now, what Rachel doesn't know is that's what it looks like on the outside, but on the inside, Nicole can barely, keep her family together. They treat her like she's no one. Well, at least her kids do. And her husband is, the way that he is. So, yeah, she looks good on the outside, but on the inside, she probably feels a sense of loneliness. And that's probably why she's so drawn to her work and her career. But anywho, let me get focused on the topic. So she goes over to her and, they're talking. And so Nicole asks, oh, yeah, you're a newlywed, right? And she's like, yeah. So then Rachel kind of discloses to her insecurities around that because of their class differences and, how she had to work really hard for her career. And now she feels like she kind of has to fade in the background. And she fears that she will become a part of Shane's orbit. And she would be, he would be revolving around her, or vice versa. She would basically be insignificant. She would just be around. She wouldn't play a pivotal part in their marriage. And then Nicole asks her if she has a prenup. And Rachel confirms she has one, and then she breaks down the structure of the prenup. So then Nicole surmises from that, well, so that means you're if you guys were to divorce, you would leave with nothing, right? And Rachel's like, yeah, that's true. So given that she's told Nicole, she's having a career crisis and, she doesn't know what she wants to do, Nicole then tells her, well, then you need to maintain your independence. Don't give up your career because your independence is your power. So that gives Rachel a sense of thank you, like confirmation bias, because she's been feeling that the whole time. But, she's trying to ease into this whole newlywed thing and be a good wife. But, she can't help but feel the way that she feels. So then Nicole, out of curiosity, she asks her, well, what do you do? And she's like, oh, I'm a journalist. I actually wrote a piece on you in, I forget what publication she said. And Nicole was like, oh, you did. Oh, that piece was horrible. I was like, ooh. And Rachel is taken aback naturally. So then she's like, what do you mean? And she's like, well, you basically said that I got my my position riding the wave of Me Too. So apparently, I guess there was a lot of scandal at the company that Nicole works for with the men in leadership. And because she was a woman and they, I guess, wanted to save face, the narrative behind her rise on the ladder is that she was put there basically as a token, basically as a scapegoat to show, oh no, we're not this scandalous, company that does these types of things to women. Look who we have in leadership. I mean, that's how they do it. So then she's like, yeah, you basically made me out to be some sort of martyr or whatever. And Rachel's like, no, that's not what the intention was. I just pretty much got my source from, such and such article. And then Nicole's like, well, that's bad journalism. Basically letting her know, well, you don't even have your own thoughts. So, what kind of journalist are you? And so it went from her praising her and giving her good tips in one moment to her basically condemning her for her career choices and getting mad at her because she's like, what you did to me, that's not empowering me. That's, making it harder for me as a woman leader. You're perpetuating that narrative that I didn't earn what I earned on merit. And I climbed that corporate ladder. So that was an interesting thing because Connie ate her up. Nicole ate Rachel up. I was like, damn, because Nicole, up until that point, you could tell she's very powerful, but you don't see that shark come out of her until that scene. Like, you don't see that she can be biting until that scene, because she basically chopped up Rachel and chopped her up and chewed her out. And so Rachel feels defeated, and she's like, well, I'm sorry you feel that way. I'm sorry, like real nervous. And then Nicole's like, yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So then you see that's where Olivia gets her bitchy side from, because the mannerisms were similar to how Olivia is. Olivia is very dismissive and, but I thought that was amazing acting between both actresses. And Connie Britton was phenomenal in that scene. She was the mother in one moment, then she was the vulture in the next. All right, so now we have Paula and Olivia. They're on the beach, and they have a bag. They have the bag of drugs, and they decide that they're going to take the Special K. And Paula asks Olivia, how long is that high? And she says for 20 minutes, so they take it. And not even, I want to say, a minute or two until they're buzzed, Tanya awkwardly walks over to them and she's talking to them and she makes them feel uncomfortable. She's complimenting them, saying that they're beautiful, but is asking them questions. And of course, they're stoned, so they don't want to answer them. So Olivia just out of nowhere says, well, we have to go. I have to pee. Because when Tanya's talking to her, it sounds like she can't understand her. So then they both get up, and scurry off really fast, not realizing they left the bag on the beach. So they leave. We go to a scene where the travel agent that Shane's mother spoke about in the previous episode, because there was one point that Shane had called his mother to kind of like let her know what happened or whatever, and she told him, "Oh, I'll have this person get in touch with Armand." So that travel agent is on the phone with Armand, chewing him out, and Armand's like, "Oh, I will make up for it," like being slimy. "I'm gonna make up for it. I'm gonna give them a lot of accommodations and a lot of treats, to make up for the mistake. I'm so sorry." So at this point, he's still selling smoke, putting smoke up his ass. And so now he's got to come up with all of these ways as to how he's going to accommodate Shane for the mistake. So Armand goes into a panic when he gets off the phone with the travel agent. And then one of the employees, the staff members, brings the bag to the office. So Armand is in recovery. So Armand, when he's on the phone with the travel agent, he's stressing out, but he's going through the bag and he's pulling out all this stuff. So Armand is now being enticed. That's the first thing. He's being provoked, primed for this. And then not even after that, because this is a scene that's kind of going back and forth between each other. Paula and Olivia, they run to the beach because they've realized, and they've changed at this point, so they're in different outfits. Some time has gone by and they've realized, oh my God, we left the bag. And by the time they get there, the bag is gone. So they're freaking out. Now we go to a dinner scene, and Olivia tells the family that she left her bag, or no, Paula left her bag on the beach, and they ask her, well, what did you leave in there? What's so important? Because Olivia mentioned that there was some crucial things in there. And then Paula's like, my thesis thoughts. And they're like, oh, you're already writing your thesis? Because, they're in high school. What's it on? And she says, colonialism. And they're like very important topics. So I was watching and I was like, damn. You want to give your kids the benefit of the doubt, and that's why you don't question them, right? But it's like, that's scary that a kid can master that easily, like that quickly, how to like manipulate your parents and make them feel a certain narrative. So I was just like looking at them like, you guys are not even aware. And you have the CFO in the house. Like, she should be like the strategic brains in the family. And you're not going to probe a little bit more, or at least notice when your child and her friend is lying. Like, I'm trying to study that myself with my 9-year-old. Because I know her, and I'm trying to get to know her friends a little bit more. But those types of things you see, and it's like, damn, man, kids, they're going to be little fuckers. So then now we go to Shane and Rachel at dinner. And Rachel tells Shane that she's going to take the job. And he's like, wait, you're going to do the article? Because remember, she had that conversation with Nicole. So it basically reinforced to her that she needs to focus on her career, because if they were to get divorced, there's no guarantee she's going to be okay. So, with that being said, she brings that up to Shane, and Shane says, it's weird. I don't know if you realize it, more or less, but you married into money. You don't need to work. And she's like, no, I built these relationships. This is important to my career, and I think I want to do this. So then I did agree with Shane on this. He's like, you're going to take a job on your honeymoon? And I'm thinking like, yeah, like, but I guess, with journalism, when things come up, you can't really say no. So, she says that, that's just what she has to do. So then Armand comes over out of nowhere, and he has a bottle of one of my favorites, Veuve Clicquot. Shout out to Veuve Clicquot. And he's being overly accommodating because, again, Armand knows he messed up. He just has not admitted to it yet. So now we go back to the Mossbachers, Nicole, Olivia, Mark, and all of them. And Nicole brings up to them, she says, you know what's funny? I'm so powerful and I have so much respect, but I can't even get respect from my own family. That's just odd. So then Olivia is like, well, what should I be, respecting you for? What is a teenage girl? She's like, what is exactly what you do that I should be so proud of? And then her dad is like, well, she's a CFO of this company. Why do you not respect her? And Olivia is like, there's a lot of powerful people, in positions that shouldn't be in positions. That doesn't mean I should praise them. And I'm like, damn it. I mean, yeah, but that's your mother. And that's what they say. You're not praising her because she's just whatever person. This is your mother. Can you show her a little respect? So I was like, man, you just gotta take the hand. Just take the hand one good time and knock her little bratty ass off of that privilege, or send her to military school. Then let's see how much she misses her privilege and respects you. So Olivia gets up and she tells him that she's gonna go check in with Lost and Found regarding Paula's bag. And then Paula says that she's gonna go to the bathroom. So take note of this. So Olivia's asking Armand about the bag, and then, Armand denies it, of course, for whatever reason. So then Olivia notices, remember Paula said she was going to go to the bathroom. No, Paula's actually talking to that cute waiter. And so Olivia's a little bothered by this, because I think there's some sort of like competition, or Olivia has a sense of entitlement, meaning Paula can only have so much. If they're not equal, then that's an issue for Olivia. That's what I get. Because it's like, why would you be so concerned about your friend talking to a boy? But then in Paula, why don't you want to share this with your friend if you guys are so close? So it doesn't seem like they're in a relationship sexually or whatever. But it's a weird like cat and mouse dynamic between the two of them. It's like Paula's only going to show up and be so big of a personality as long as it doesn't offend Olivia. So there's that power struggle too. And then we get to Tanya and Belinda sitting at dinner. So they're talking, and, Tanya is just so impressed with Belinda. She loves her work. She tells her she's really good at what she does. And then Belinda shares, why she got into it and, her passion behind it. And so Paula is just like, not Paula, I'm sorry. Tanya. Tanya is just sold. She's sold on Belinda. And she's like, have you ever thought about opening your own business? And then Belinda's like, oh. No, she's like, I would fund something like that. So Belinda's ecstatic because she's like, wow, someone believes in me and they're willing to front the money and I didn't have to ask. And like Schwinn. So then Tanya, being awkward, she looks over to Nicole and Mark, and she's like, she's promoting Belinda. She's like, I know a lot of rich white people that would love to pay for your services. And then Belinda's like, I mean, no offense, but I feel like rich white people are what fucked up the world. And then Tanya agrees. And she's like, but I know a lot of rich white people that would benefit. So she turns to them and she's like promoting Belinda. She's like, this is Belinda. This is how Tanya talks. She's a massage. She's the spa manager here, and she gave great massages. And she's like, I was feeling one way, and then when she did my massage, I just came out transformed. And so Nicole's like, oh, wonderful. Maybe I'll book her. And she's like, not unless I have her. If I have her, you won't be able to book her. And then they're like, oh, okay. So then Tanya's like, I think I should be your PR. And Belinda's like, okay, you know, she doesn't know what to say. She doesn't know how to respond to that. So then now we go back to the table with the Mossbachers, and Mark goes into this monologue, which I understand, but you know, it's kind of a Johnny come lately, wrong messenger. I guess right messenger, but wrong context, wrong audience. It's just, no one received this message. But basically he was, you know, he's feeling like he has a second chance at life since he found out he does not have testicular cancer, which is a worry for him because his father died of that at the age he's at right now. So 46. So yeah, they're in their mid 40s. So, you know, he's talking about how they really don't have anything to be worried about. They're very fortunate. You know, they should appreciate life for what it is. You know, enjoy every moment that they can. You know, just have a different perspective. You know, see life for the fullness that it is, and just be happy in the moments. And crickets, just like you just heard right now. All right, so back at the table with Rachel and Shane. So Rachel tells Shane that the Mossbachers are weird, and then she highlights Olivia and Nicole specifically. She says the mother is a bitch and the daughter is a bitch. Nicole is the mother, Olivia is the daughter, in case you're wondering. And then Nicole brings, now we go back to the room. So Nicole brings Quinn's sleeper out from the kitchen because Quinn has complained about it being hot in there, and you know, as his mother, she wants him to sleep comfortably. So as she's doing that, in his bed is in the room, Olivia and Paula are just sitting like stone faced, like this, staring at him. Sorry, my bra. Staring at him like this. And then Olivia says, we don't like you. We don't want you in here. I'm like, damn. And then he's like, fine, I'll go sleep on the beach, and then leaves, you know, angrily. So then Olivia asks Paula about where she went, because Paula didn't know that Olivia saw her with the waiter. And then at first, Paula denies it. She's like, I went to the bathroom. And she's like, well, who's that guy you were talking to? And she's like, what guy? Like downplaying it, right? And she asks again, and then she's like, I don't know, it's just some busboy that's trying to hit on me. Now, if you looked at them in the scene, no, it's not he's just trying to hit on you. You have an interest too. So then Olivia's like, I guess when she was looking at them, she's like, well, it looks like you guys know each other already. You sure you don't know him? The fuck you questioning your friend? Like, what kind of tomfoolery of a friendship is this? Man, but I like that. I like that White Lotus does kind of like, you know, emphasize the different like human conditions and the intricacies within like relationships and the complicated dynamics within families, friends, etc. But it just annoys you sometimes because if you're a person that could care less, like you don't follow a lot of social constructs, like the way that they interact with each other is not gonna resonate for you. So that's me, because I'd be damned if my friend is giving me the third degree about some dude I'm talking to, or questioning me, who the hell are you? You my coochie? Like what do you want to know? Why are you concerned? You want me to go find you somebody? You know what I'm saying? So I don't know, it's like but you know, hey, the things, right? So let me see, let me make sure I got all these. Yep, I got that, boom. So then now we go to Shane and Rachel. Now Rachel, given what Shane said, again, he's an asshole. He's pompous, but I mean, he's right. This is his honeymoon. You know, it's your honeymoon too. Why would you take a job? So she ends up rejecting the job, and Shane is thankful for this because, I guess she thought about it and he's appreciating it. And then he tells her, I'm going to give you what every woman wants, I think. I'm going to take you on a trip to Burning Man, and I'm going to get an RV. That way we could take a trip and just hang out. And she's like, oh, okay. And then Mark and Nicole. So this is a scene. So remember in the first episode, Mark made some phone calls to some family members to get some family history regarding his father. So he calls his uncle. Uncle returns the phone call. They're talking. And he's like, oh, no, Uncle, everything's good. I just had a health scare. I got a clean bill of health and I don't have anything to worry about. But, since I got you on the phone, my concern was what was the type of cancer that Dad died of? Like, how did he catch it? Baby, when I tell you, Mark was not ready for what he was about to hear, because this just shattered his whole existence. So Uncle tells him, he was like, cancer? Oh, I thought somebody would have told you by now, but cancer? Your dad didn't die of cancer. He died of AIDS. And then Mark's like, huh? So he's like, yeah, I'm sorry. Your mom couldn't handle any of it. And, I guess it never got to you or whatever. So then Mark's like stunned naturally, but it doesn't stop there. So, after the shock, settles with him for a little bit, he's got a little room to come up with more questions. And then he's like, wait, because I guess he's thinking like, well, my mom didn't have it. So where did he get it from? Uncle tells him, well, your dad had 2 lives. Your dad had his family, and he had a life where he slept with men. Your dad was a closet gay, had relationships with men, and that's how he caught AIDS. So because Mark is wrestling with his own masculinity, and he saw his dad a certain way, that just shatters his world as he knew it, because that is something that he's struggling with. So to find out that your father, based on the way you see the world, was not the representation of masculinity that you thought he was, and you're trying to live up to that, well, naturally, your sense of masculinity now has to be reinvented. And now you're questioning yourself. So now it's like, well, dang. But that was... Could you imagine like hearing something like that about one of your family members, your parent? Or your family member, your parent, an important parent. That's an important family member. To think that you knew one thing about them and then you find out it's the total opposite. Now, being gay doesn't make you less masculine. In fact, it has nothing to do with your masculinity. But given the way that he thinks and the way he saw his father, and who knows, the way his father may have presented himself, because he does say his dad was very tough and alpha, remember? It's like, well, damn, what's the truth? So, yeah, that was a good scene. So then we get Armand, he's in the office. He is going through it, wrestling with his demons. You can see the inner whatever going on with him. He starts pulling out the drugs, staring at him. And, for a moment, you're like, no, Armand, hang on. Because remember, he's 5 years sober. Armand pops a pill. So now Armand's on a good one, or about to be on a good one. Then it goes to Quinn. You remember Quinn was going to go sleep on the beach. And Quinn's sitting at the beach, staring off into the ocean. And he's got this, like, first he's kind of like, you don't really see in his face like any type of emotion, because with him having whatever stimulation or form of neurodiversity, there we go, it doesn't really show facial expressions. But some time goes by, a few moments, and he's staring into the water, And there's like this peacefulness in him. He finds happiness. It soothes him, and he smiles. And he's been very disgruntled throughout the whole like the 2 episodes so far, rightfully so, because dad's trying to bond with me all of a sudden. Mom's detached, she's into her work. She's trying to mother me, but she can only mother me the way she can mother me, but she doesn't have a clue either. Sister's a straight bitch, and doesn't want to spend any time with me or treat me justifiably good or like a family member. I think I'm peaceful here. So, like Piper, think of Quinn like that. He doesn't jive with the way the family is. He's different, because he's not as self-involved. So he probably soothes so that he can, give himself a sense of peace. And like I said, he seemed to have found that peace when he was sitting at the beach, and that was the last scene. So, what do you think? You guys liking it so far? I know it's a slow build up, that's how White Lotus is, but I guarantee you it's a good show. Like, Mike White is an excellent writer. He has got a really good production here, because it taps into a lot of things that make you think, make you wonder, and it's satirically funny. So a little dark comedy never hurt anybody, right? All right, now on that note, I'm gonna go to bed because tomorrow is Saturday and I have to run a lot of errands and try to get a workout in, and I'm taking my daughter to a function at the church, and it's so cool because it's a daddy-daughter event. And if you don't know, I'm a widow, and so her father passed away. So when they mentioned the event after her Sunday school, I didn't say anything. I was just sitting there, right? Like, because I don't want to bring that up and trigger her. And my daughter, as sweet as she is, she just came out of nowhere and she said, "Mom, would you take me to it?" So I'm like, oh, thank God. Let my baby find peace in her own way, right? So I never want to push anything like that on her because I don't want to trigger or elicit any emotion, but it gives me joy to know that, she doesn't have so much of a complex with that. Like, she just takes it by the horns and, this is what it is. And it's me and you, Mom. And, I couldn't ask for anything more. So, yeah, I'm doing that. But yes, I got to get up in the morning and go get us some tie-dye shirts because the theme is tie-dye. And I'm excited. I hope she enjoys herself. All right. Now, with that being said, please like, comment, subscribe, and share. Not necessarily in that order. Engage with me. Let me know what you think of the recap. And let me know if you want me to summarize more than one episode. If you want to just go ahead and get this going, I'm okay with that too. If not, I'm just going to go ahead and do it episode by episode so I can have that anthology going. That's the ADD OCD in me, I guess. I like to have that structure. But anywho, on that note, I'm going to go ahead and go to bed. I appreciate your love and support and your engagement, and I will talk to you next time. Peace and blessings. Bye.